Hello, my name is Sean Walker. I'm a Principal Product Excellence Architect here at ServiceNow. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the asset repair order for hardware asset management. The content for this video was prepared by Johnny Hughes, a Product Success Architect here at ServiceNow. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the asset repair order. I'll give you an overview here and presentation. I'm going to talk about the repair order stages, and then I'll jump into an instance of ServiceNow and give you a demo of the repair order. So the repair order is a flow that was created that's going to allow asset managers to request repair of assets that are either in an in-stock defective or an in-stock pending repair state. And so you can do that a few ways. You can actually submit the repair order through the service catalog, or you can have it in the employee center. Or what we're going to be talking about today is triggering a repair order directly from the asset itself. So the different stages that a repair order is going to go through, they're all going to go through this very first stage, which is the troubleshoot stage. And that's where the asset technician is going to evaluate or look at that asset to try and determine what needs to be repaired. So from that, they're going to have a few options. They're either going to determine that this asset is unrepairable, or maybe it's going to be redeployable. So if it's redeployable, maybe they get it in, they fire it up, don't find anything wrong. Okay, we can go ahead and redeploy it. If it's unrepairable, maybe somebody drove over it with their car or dropped it out of a window and it's just completely damaged beyond repair. So they're going to mark it as unrepairable. And for each one of those, it's going to move the asset into the appropriate substate so the appropriate actions can be taken. If the technician thinks that the asset can be repaired, they will select that in the repair task, the troubleshoot task, which will trigger the repair task. And that's where the technician goes and actually repairs the asset. So this is something where you can use to track the time on how much time the technician's spending repairing these assets, and then you can even have those flow into your total cost of ownership for these assets, so you can see and track maybe these assets are breaking down on a regular basis and you want to be able to track how much time is spent repairing them. Once the technician's repaired the asset, it's going to go through that evaluate task, and that's really to determine, hey, did I fix this asset, or does it need more repair, or potentially it's just can't be fixed. And from there, you would take the appropriate action to dispose of that asset. So you can see the repair orders from the hardware asset management workspace in the inventory dashboard. That's where you can find all of those repair orders. And once a repair order has been generated, repair order lines get created, and then this is an example of those 3 different tasks that you can see on that repair order line. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump into a Zurich release of ServiceNow and walk you through the asset repair process. Okay, so now I've logged into a Zurich instance of ServiceNow, and I'm logged in as the asset tech. So this is a person who has the ham admin role and who's going to be completing the repair order today. So I'm going to go to the inventory dashboard, and I want to show you a couple things first. First thing I'm going to do is just quickly go to a stock room, and today we're going to be working with the Southern California warehouse. And in here I'm going to take a look at my hardware assets. And so this is, if you recall, where you can trigger a repair order from. But you're only going to be able to trigger repair orders for assets that are in stock pending repair or defective. So those are the only types of assets that you can trigger a repair order for. So for example, if I was to go into this first asset here and go and try and trigger repair order, you're going to see that there's no repair functionality available because this asset is in stock available. So if I was to say change the state to this one to pending repair and save that, we're going to now see that I can actually go ahead and I can trigger this repair order. So you're going to maybe want to build that into your process, that if a technician's doing that, that they change the state to pending repair so that they can trigger this repair order. And so it's as easy as that to trigger this repair order. So now I'm just going to quickly go back, and so I am the asset tech and I want to see if there's any repair orders. So I go to the repair orders tab and I can see there's a whole bunch of repair orders that have been triggered. There's that last one we created by the asset tech. We just did that one. But we're going to take a look here at this first one, and the asset tech's going to go in and open that repair order, and it's going to see it's got a due date of the 31st. And we can see that there's one repair order line that's been created for this particular repair. So, and that's the demo asset tag 207. So the first thing we're going to take a look at when we go into this line is what tasks are assigned. And we can see here that the first task, as if you remember from the presentation, is that troubleshoot asset. So we're going to go in here and we are going to take a look, and we're going to assign this troubleshooting task to ourselves, asset tech. And we're going to basically go ahead, we're going to grab that laptop number 207 and we are going to see what's wrong with it. Again, if we want, we can actually hit the start work on this and we can actually start tracking our time related to these particular types of activities, as I said, or we can actually do the here record time. But this is the evaluate task, so, or sorry, the troubleshoot task. So this is really where they're firing up, trying to figure out what's going on. So they're going to go through, they're going to try and figure it out, and the technician's going to deem that this is in fact repairable. So screen issues, let's say, is the issue that they found, and we're going to have a work note of let's replace the screen. And that should fix this error with this particular laptop. So one of the things you need to note is that this repair task is for those assets that are not under warranty. If your technician was going to repair this and the asset was under warranty, you're going to want to trigger an RMA process for that, so you can actually get the parts from the manufacturer, or you can get the send it away potentially, depending on your warranty, right, for off-site repair, or even have a technician come in for on-site repair. So again, that's when your asset is covered under warranty. The repair order is for when your assets are not covered under warranty. So now that these figured out what is wrong with this asset, we're going to go ahead and close this task. And we are going to go and see that another task has been generated. And you can see here that the repair asset task has been generated and it's assigned to the asset tech. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to start working on replacing the screen on this laptop. So we're going to hit the start work. Now, since I'm doing this in a demo, we won't really get any time recorded. So what we can do is we can actually, as the tech, once I'm finished doing my work, I can actually record the time. So let's say it took 2 hours to replace the screen, and then we can save this. So this is recording that time work, so we can take a look here that we now have a 2 hours for the replace screen logged on this particular task. So now that he's done that, they're going to basically say, okay, this is repaired. And what was it? I replaced the screen. And we are going to close this task. Now, the last thing that you need to do once this has been, the asset's been repaired, is you need to evaluate what are we going to do with this asset now. So am I going to redeploy this asset? Or maybe if I couldn't have fixed it, maybe I need to dispose of that asset. So in this case, we're going to say it is redeployable. So one thing I want to do just before I actually hit save on this particular, close on this particular task, is I just want to take a look at the asset here. And we can see here right now the state has gone from in stock pending repair to in stock pending evaluation. So as you move through the flow, the asset state, substate, is going to get updated as you go through. So now if I come back in to this particular evaluate asset task, I say that it's redeployable, can be redeployed, and I close this task, it's going to go ahead and it's going to update the substate of this asset to now in stock available. So this is going to then make that asset available for provisioning from, like, say, request or maybe loaner or whatever you happen to be using this asset for. And so that's how you go ahead and you would complete an asset repair order. So that's for the repair feature. So I'll quickly just show you what happens if you choose some of the other options. So we can see here that that one is now complete. So we can go into, say, this one here, and we can go again into the repair order lines, and we can evaluate this particular asset. And so what happens here, where we go through the troubleshooting results and say it's unrepairable. So if we take a look at this asset, again, we can see that this asset is in stock pending repair right now. But when we go and say this is unrepairable, I'm just putting in anything in here, and we close this task, this particular asset now moves from in stock pending disposal, which is going to make it available for your disposal order flow. And then this one is actually, if we take a look, this one is actually closed complete now. So that's all the only steps that happen in this particular repair order. We can just refresh this and see it's gone to the complete stage. Or say the technician takes a look at this laptop here, we can see here, right, we've got this one is pending repair as well. But we go through the lines here and we go through the tasks that says, okay, let's troubleshoot this. And we say this is redeployable, right, with no issues found, right, and we close this task. We take a look back at this asset, it's switched back to available. So that's how the repair order flow works within a Zurich instance. In this video, we went through repair order overview. We talked about the different stages of a repair order, and then I went through a demo of a repair order as an asset tech. So for more information on this particular feature, you can go visit the ServiceNow documentation website and look for the asset repair order. And there's a really good document on request and repair your defective hardware assets in your stock room. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.